I guess, I don't know.
I'll check it. I want to check it first because usually has coupons in it. Right there. There's a Culver's. There's a Pizza Hut. All right, I'm going to put myself on Facebook here. Where's my phone at? Oh, right there. There was a couple coupons in there I wanted. Culver's.
Throw it away.
There was a Culver's and a Pizza Hut, just in case. I mean, we'll probably start going to... I did like that, I liked that Domino's pizza we had. So...
Okay.
I think I might just make those pies on Saturday. So Saturday, maybe we'll get pizza again, or we'll get something. Maybe Culver's.
All right.
I'm saying Saturday
Okay.
because I think I'm just going to do those pies like she wants. Those the mango key lime pies. I think that's all I'm going to do on Saturday.
You know what?
What?
I'm going to put some ice on my foot.
Hi.
Just for a little bit. It's been really good.
I don't know why this thing is so lopsided. Why is it like that?
It hasn't even bothered me lately.
All right, you're going to have to get ready here in a minute to turn that down.
Are you done?
It just, yeah, in a second here. All right.
Shut it down.
Yep. Okay. All right. Just let me check my... Hello, 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 hello. Okay. All right.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, there's that. Let me put this on now. Okay. Let me put it on camera. All right, I think that's good. Just make sure I can see. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get ready to start now.
Okay.
All right. Won't be a long one today. All right. Let me make sure it goes on here. All right. All right, there we go. Push that over just a hair. Okay. Alrighty. I guess we're getting ready to start. Sorry, I have to get everything organized. I'm still trying to get used to this new setup. So let me move this screen for Facebook over just a hair. Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back. Today I'm just not doing a lot today. I did as much prepping as I could already. So I'm going to be doing creamy chicken scrapolio rice casserole. I don't know how to say the whole thing, but anyways, it's a chicken rice casserole. I did have to pre-do my chicken, which I did. I put it in the air fryer earlier. You can use the you can fry it if you want. I just had a lot of it to make because I have my family and 2 other families that need some of this, so I put mine in the air fryer. So, and it came out looking really good. I did do this up a little bit more than I had to because I'm trying to cut the time down a little bit for the baking process. So I'm going to turn on, that chicken looks really good. I'm going to turn on, I have to do some sausage up, fry some sausage, so I'm turning that on first, and I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. We're going to start that way. As soon as I get this sausage fried up, I got to pull it out, and then I got to put in some onions and peppers. So that's why I want to get this started right now. But I got everything ready to go. I just got to get this fried up. I got to get a spoon. This one will be fine. All right. This is going to, what we're going to do is we're going to fry this sausage up. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to put some onions and peppers in for a few minutes. And then I'm going to make a rice mixture. And while this is all in the oven, I thought I'd do, because I actually was hungry for this, that's the only reason I'm doing it. I thought I'd do some Harvard beets, because I love Harvard beets. And I don't get them very often. I don't make them very often, but I do love them. So I thought I would make some of them up while this is in the oven. If it's still going on too long and it's not done yet, we will just, I'll stop it and then I'll do a second part. Like I said, one day I'm going to take, and it might be Thursday, I might do something simple on Thursday and try to record it for Facebook. And then put it on afterwards, so it won't be live. Might try it that way. And then there might be some days it'll be live when I'm not doing something, you know, that takes a while in the oven or whatever. And then some days I might just record it and then put it on. We'll see. I just don't want to hold everybody up while we're waiting for this. I hope everybody's doing okay. It's a little cold here in Florida. I know it's a lot colder in Pennsylvania. I already talked to somebody and they said it was a lot colder. So what I have here is a pound of sausage. You can use whatever kind of sausage you want. You can use regular sausage. You can use Italian sausage. But I'm just using this sausage. So what we're going to do is we're going to brown up the sausage. Then I'm going to remove it. Then I'm going to saute the vegetables. I'm going to do I have some green bell pepper too. I thought I had another red bell pepper. Luckily I keep some frozen onions and peppers here in the freezer. And then I can just pull them out and use them as I need them. Because I guess I used it the other day and didn't realize it. So, but I'm going to get this fried up. We're going to put them in, and then after that's done, after they're sauteed, while they're sauteing, I'm sauteing the peppers and the onions, I'm going to make up this rice mixture with some long grain rice, some broth, some wine, some cream, some Parmesan cheese, some white wine vinegar, and I think I'm going to put a little rice vinegar in it too. I'm not sure. I might just use that for the when I make the Harvard beets, because I'm making Harvard beets. So anybody's not familiar with a Harvard beet, I'll explain that to you in a few here. So I'm going to mix all that together, and then I'm going to put the sauteed onions and peppers in it. And then I'm going to put it, you're supposed to use a 9 by, can use a 9 by 13, normally I do, but because I'm making so much today, I'm using one of these big roasting pans, and I have quarter legs of chicken. You can use chicken legs and chicken thighs. It's better to have the ones with the bone in, but you don't have to. You can use boneless if you choose. Like I said, I have the bone in. They were on special, so I got them. And actually, today's the first time I actually made the chicken in the air fryer like I did. So I actually was kind of impressed with it. It really looks good. So I like bacon. I don't like frying bacon on top of my stove because it makes the stove all messy. Alright, so this is about done. I'm going to pull that out as I said. And then I'm going to do my onions and peppers. Let me get this. This is going to go in the oven, so if it's not completely 100% done, that's okay, because it is going in the oven. Everything goes in the oven, so I was just trying to get it as close to being done as I could. Alrighty. So let's pull this out and put it in here. And then I'll put these onions and peppers in there real quick. They won't take long to saute up, and while we're sauteing them up, I will definitely do the rice mixture. So I probably should have done 2 pounds of sausage for the amount of rice I'm using today, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil in here. I'm going to save a little bit of this onion for my, I don't need a lot, just a little bit for my Harvard beets. And then I'm going to take this. Like I said, I had left this out so it would thaw out. Luckily, I had it. All right. I always like to add a little bit of something in when I do my onions and peppers. So I'm going to put a little bit of Kinder's garlic parmesan in there because I'm going to be using garlic and parmesan in my meal. And then I'm just going to do a tiny little bit of the buttery seasoning mix. Okay. I'm trying to come up with a happy medium. Like I said, this is all new to me, so I'm trying to come up with a happy medium for doing all this. So the oven is ready. But that's why I said about doing a reel. Somebody showed me how to do a reel, so I don't know if it's going to work out, but that's why I want to let you know ahead of time when I'm going to do that, so that way you're aware in case something happens. My back counter I left cleaned off today, so we didn't have all that falling and carrying on like yesterday. All right, so now we're going to start this. So in here, we're going to put 2 cups of long grain rice. I think this is just about 2 cups here. So if it's a little over, it's all going in. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to make yet. I don't know if Saturday, I was thinking about just, somebody asked me to make a mango, asked me if I could make a mango key lime pie. And there's 3 different ways I can make it, so I thought I might do that. So I might just do that on Saturday and no food. The one grandson wants jambalaya with sausage and crawfish in it. So I'm going to do that maybe Monday. Okay, so now to this, let me add the broth. I need 2 cups of broth. I'm just going to put a little bit more in because I had a little bit of extra. I did have a little extra of the rice. I should use heavy cream, but I don't have any more heavy cream, so I'm going to use half and half. So, like I said, in here we're going to put the uncooked rice, the broth, the wine, the cream, the Parmesan cheese, the vinegar, and the Italian seasoning mix, which I already have ready here because I put it on top of my chicken, so I just made extra and got it ready a while. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go in order. So I did the broth and the uncooked rice. So now I need the wine, which luckily I have because I had it for something else. So I need a cup. And if you don't have wine, you can use extra broth. It's not going to hurt it any. But I just so happen to have this, so I might as well use it. I need a cup of this. And I don't have quite a cup. So I'm going to, actually I'm going to put it in here. This one is just a cup, so I don't mess it up. I'm going to use a little bit more of the broth because, like I said, I don't have quite a cup. It was a cooking wine is what I had, a white cooking wine. I can grab more. That lasts forever. So I'm going to put that in there. Then after that, we need the cream, but I'm going to use half and half. So I'm going to use a cup of half and half. Because I'm using half and half, I am going to use a little bit extra Parmesan cheese. Because, of course, the heavy cream's thicker. So I'm going to use a little bit extra of the Parmesan cheese. This is ready. So I'm going to turn that off. Okay. So now I put my cream in there, my half and half. Now I'm going to use Parmesan cheese. Thought I had that out. And I'm going to use a half a cup of that. So I'm going to use about 3/4 of a cup. Because like I said, I don't have, hold on a second. I have a 3/4 of a cup. Measuring cup. I don't have a heavy cream, so I just got to get this out. There you go. All right, I'm going to leave that out because I'm going to mix that with my cheese for the top. Okay, so then I got the Parmesan cheese in there. Then I need the vinegar. And I'm going to use a white wine vinegar. And I'm going to use 2 to 4 tablespoons. So I'm thinking maybe, if I don't drop everything all over the floor, I'm thinking I'm going to use, I don't know, maybe 4. This is a half tablespoon. That's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, that's 3 tablespoons. Like I said, this is a half tablespoon. And that's 4 tablespoons. Okay, there we go. Okay. Then I'm going to need 2 to 4 teaspoons. You put, however many tablespoons you put in, you put that many teaspoons of honey in there. So because I did 4 tablespoons of that, I'm going to have to use 4 teaspoons of honey. So, and I should have got this out. I do apologize. One of my neighbors stopped over that I haven't seen for a while. And she was the one that asked me about the, she's been sickly, and she asked me about the mango key lime pie. So I told her I'd look it up and try to make her some. I looked and I did have a recipe I could find. So, and of course, you know me, I have to switch it up a tad. So, okay, now I'm going to mix that in there because that's the only problem with that's there. So now I got all that in there. I got to whisk this together. Let me get a whisk. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to get all this whisked up together. Make sure it's all mixed up good. I'm going to put my baking dish over here so I can show you how I'm going to do this. Alrighty. So that's pretty much incorporated. Got to make sure you get it all through there. Okay. So let me take my spoon because I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this rice and this onions and peppers and I'm going to put it in there. So alrighty, there we go. Okay, so I want to make sure I incorporate all them rice and peppers in with everything. Like I said, the longest thing is the doing the chicken because I used bone-in quarter legs. And I could cut them down, but why? Okay, so there's that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pan and I'm going to make sure it's greased pretty good. Like I said, if anybody knows of anything they'd like to see, let me know. I am going to go to around Lakeland in March to get the pig stomach for somebody wants to see hog maw, which we love that, so we're hungry for that anyways. Okay, so now I'm going to pour the rice mixture in here. And I'm going to make sure the rice is all spread out. As such. Okay. Let me put all this in here. Okay. So make sure the rice is evenly distributed here. Okay, there you go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chicken. I'm going to put my chicken over there. This chicken is probably still warm. I wouldn't say it's hot, but it is warm. All right, so there's one piece of it. I do not need that chicken broth. Okay. Get the rest of it. This chicken looks amazing. I had done this earlier today, so look how good that looks. Can you see it? Yeah, it really looks good. I think I'll make some chicken in here one day. Just regular old chicken. I seasoned this up with the seasonings that went into the rice. So I put that in there. I do have probably, I don't want this to fall because it has a lot of grease on it. So I'm going to have to tilt these a little bit only because I have 2 more pieces of chicken to get in here. They came in packs of 3, so when I I'm just going to have to lay them on top. Like I said, this chicken's pretty much done as it is anyways. So I pretty much left it in longer than what I had to. I want to drain this real quick because, like I said, I don't want that on my floor. All right. And what I did when I put it in my air fryer, I stuck it in, because I have an oven air fryer, I stuck it in aluminum foil on the bottom and then I put parchment paper on top of it. I will let you know this unbleached parchment paper, I won't get that again, especially for an air fryer, because it gets crumbly. It doesn't hold up as good as the white parchment paper does. So let me pull this off real quick so I don't wear this all over the floor. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So now, that's all in there. So now I got to take this sausage and I'm going to just nestle it around the chicken the best I can. Because like I said, I got a lot of chicken in here. But that's okay because I got, like I said, I got our family and 2 other families to feed. So just put that sausage around like that. I'm trying to get some underneath this piece of chicken. That's a little easier said than done. All right. Alrighty. Just let me see if I can get some over there. There you go. Okay. So now I'm going to take, I am going to take aluminum foil and wrap this very tightly on there. So I'm going to have to put a couple pieces on here because of the rice. You got that rice in there, so we got to make sure we wrap it really tight. Like I said, I think I'm going to use 3 pieces just to make sure that it is wrapped tightly. I am going to put this in for, it says it's supposed to be 40 to 50 minutes. So I am going to check it after 40 because the chicken's pretty much done anyways. I just want to get some of those drippings down into the rice. So, and a lot of times if you use these throwaways, if you take, when you're done, if you notice, I take the sides of it and push it down. It makes it more sturdier for you to lift in and out. Because sometimes they can be really unsturdy. Okay, so that takes care of that. So that's going to go in there for about 40 minutes. Half an hour to 40 minutes. I just got to make sure the rice is done. Because like I said, the chicken's pretty much done anyways. So I'm going to start on this Harvard beets. I was going to make a cinnamon coffee cake, but I've been making way too much sweet stuff lately. Too much goody stuff like that to take up the time. That's why I said I think what I'm going to do is we're going to start doing some of them. I'll make the reel up and then I'll show it later. So it'll be later on in the day when it shows. It won't show like it is now at 3 because of course I got to finish it and get it done. So it'll be more like 4 or 5 till the reel comes out. But I'm going to try one of them on Thursday just to see how it goes. That's my thoughts. Okay, so now when this is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I lost my train of thought. I'm going to take some Parmesan cheese and some regular cheese. You can use just all mozzarella cheese or you can use provolone. I only have about a cup of mozzarella. I'm going to kind of need 2 cups. So I actually took some Colby Jack and shredded it up. So I'm going to use a cup of each. So now we're going to get ready to do the Harvard beets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my saucepan. This is pretty simple and this isn't going to take 40 minutes to make, but like I said, if I have to, I'll just stop and then we'll come back. Okay, so I'm going to take these and open these. Well, first of all, I'm going to take these onions and I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of butter. I love Harbor Beets. If you like sweet and tangy, you'll like it. If you don't, you probably won't like it so much. I need some butter. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of butter right now. What do I do with that knife? Oh no. I gotta watch knives. You know me and knives, we don't get along. But I don't see where I laid it. Oh, right there it is. Okay, so we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of butter. And then I'm going to put this in and I'm gonna saute these up a little bit. You do not have to put onion in it if you don't want to. There's 2 ways you can make this. I'm gonna make it this way and then I'll tell you the other way also. Yeah, you don't have to use onion if you don't want to. I just think it gives it a little bit more of a flavor. But like I said, you by no means do you have to use onion in it. So I'm going to put that back in there for another day. Okay, so we're going to saute this up. Let me get a spoon here. I don't really need a real big spoon. I'll use this one, I guess. All right. I think I'll leave that one for the rice. No, I'll use this for the rice. Okay. So we're going to saute this up. As soon as I get this sauteed up a little bit to get a little bit on the sauteed side, I'm going to put a tablespoon, I think it is. I don't make this enough to remember. This is the way I make it. Now, there's another way you can make it also. So, like I said, I used 1/4 cup of onion. So, and then I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of this. As soon as that gets good, I'm going to open up these cans. I'm going to drain them, but I got to make sure I leave some of the beet juice to put into this as soon as I get it ready. Okay. I am going to get a little, oh, I need 1/4 cup. That's enough. And here's 1/4. Yes. So I'm going to keep 1/4 cup of this beet juice out. So I'm going to put it in there so I know I have enough. I don't even know if I'm going to need all that. I just got to be careful because this beet juice does mess up these it will stain the counters. So, and I don't want to do that. So when I'm done, I'm just going to put them onto this paper towel for the moment. But I don't need any more of that beet juice. That's all the beet juice I needed. All right. So these are just about sauteed. They're sauteed enough. Like I said, it was only 1/4 cup, so it wasn't much at all. Now I'm going to take a tablespoon of this and I'm going to whisk it into that. But I got to get a whisk. I used my little whisk, so I have to use a big whisk. Okay. And you might not need the whole tablespoon. I just gradually put some in. You just wanted to make it for a thickener. That's all you're doing, is trying to get a little bit of thickener in there. Because you don't want your see, I think that's probably going to be good. I didn't even need a tablespoon, more like a teaspoon. I am going to stick this in, this beet juice, and that will tell me if I have enough or not, because this should thicken this up. That's why I put that cornstarch in there, was just to thicken this up, that's all. All right, that was enough. I don't need any more of that. Okay. So there's that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out, oh no, I need that still because I got to put in, I'm going to turn this down really low. I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of vinegar in there. You can use apple cider, you can use white. You can use rice. I'm going to use half apple cider and half rice. There's 2 of that. If you want it tangy, you'll want more of the apple cider. If you want it, there's 2 of those. Okay. Yeah, for tangy would be the apple cider and sweeter would be the white or the rice. So I'm going to try to do a happy medium here. Then I need to have a quarter, I think it's a quarter, half a cup of sugar. I'm just going to use this sugar up so I can get it out of here. Alrighty, this is a half a cup, I'm pretty sure. It is. Okay, so I'm going to put a half a cup of sugar in here. And I like to put it in slowly. So it okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to put my beets in here, so I really don't need this whisk anymore. I can go back to my spoon. Yeah, I don't like just regular beets. I have to have them sweetened. So, if you don't like regular beets, try this. It, like I said, it makes, you can either make them sweeter or tangier. It's entirely up to you. But that little bit of sauce in the bottom coats it all. Alrighty. So we're going to let this warm back up. I am going to have to try it there to make sure it's the right it tastes, you know, not too tangy or too sweet. So the other way you can make this is you don't use any onion and you don't use any cornstarch. All you do is you would take the half a cup sugar, the 4 tablespoons of vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of butter. The only reason you put the butter in is to make it look glossy. So I'm going to stick that butter in there now and let that melt up, and that'll give it this glossy look. So you would just eliminate the onion and the cornstarch. I like my sauce a little thicker. That's why I put cornstarch in mine. You don't have to. You would not put the red beet juice in either. So your Harvard beets would be more of a white looking sauce, whereas mine's like reddish because I put the beet juice in it. But like I said, that's entirely up to you. You can do it either or. All you're doing is putting a quarter cup of onion in there, which for 2 cans of red beets is not very noticeable at all. So I'm going to go over everything again here. I just want to get this. Let me try this. I gotta have some. See, now that's a little bit tart and a little bit sweet, and that's just the way I like it. I don't like it real tangy. I mean, it's okay like that, but I like it a little bit on the sweeter side. It's candied beets is what it is. You could just call it that, candied beets. Okay. So here goes that. That's good. Like I said, I haven't had these in a while. Me and Steve both eat them, so. Okay. So there's that. I'm just going to leave that on there, but I'm just going to turn that off. Alrighty. Now, let's get this started here. Let me get this up here. And let me do that. All right, so first of all, let's go over these. I'm going to put the recipe cards onto the computer again, like I always do. So the Harvard beets, I have 2 cans, 15 ounces of sliced beets. You can use whole beets if you want. You can use homegrown beets if you want, fresh beets, but it just won't be quite as, you'd have to cook them down. So if you do that, you would know how to cook them down. I don't use fresh beets. I use a tablespoon of cornstarch, 1/4 cup of onion, a 1/2 cup of sugar, 4 tablespoons of vinegar, 4 tablespoons of butter, and a pinch of salt, which I forgot to put in there. Okay? So that is the way I do it. The other way is you would use 2 cans, 15 ounces of sliced or whole beets, a 1/2 cup of sugar, 4 tablespoons of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of butter, and a pinch of salt. You would leave out you wouldn't add the extra 2 tablespoons of butter and the onion and the cornstarch. And the only reason you're putting 2 extra teaspoons of butter in is because you're sauteing the onions. All right, so now for the creamy chicken rice casserole. It's 2 to 4 bone-in quarter chicken legs. I used quarters. You can use thighs and legs. You can use all legs. You can use all thighs. You can do bone in, bone out. That's entirely up to you. And a pound of Italian sausage, crumbled. 2 cups of uncooked grain rice, long grain rice, 1 onion, 1 red pepper sliced. I didn't have that, so I had some frozen onions and peppers, so that's what I used. I thawed it out. 3 to 4 tablespoons of minced garlic. 2 cups of chicken or vegetable broth. I used vegetable broth. 1 cup of white wine or extra broth if you don't want to use the white wine. 1 cup of heavy cream or half and half. 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. If you use half and half, you're going to have to use a little bit more than 1/2 cup. You're going to have to use more like 3/4 of a cup because, of course, the half and half isn't as thick as the heavy cream. 2 to 4 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. And then 2 to 4 teaspoons of honey. So however many tablespoons of vinegar, white wine vinegar you put in, you put that same amount of teaspoons of honey in it. 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning or oregano, a 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, salt and pepper, 2 cups shredded mozzarella or provolone cheese, 1 to 2 tablespoons. And you don't have to use the cheese. You're going to put that on at the top. If you don't want cheese, you don't need it. 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil for the searing of the chicken. I did my chicken in the air fryer. So my air fryer is in my oven. So I took my air fryer and I took my air fryer and I put it on 425. I took the chicken and I took some paprika, regular paprika, not smoked, some paprika, some Italian, I used oregano instead of Italian seasoning, and some red pepper flakes. That was a mixture I had there, so that's why I used that inside of my rice, because that's what you use up there. So I put it in a bowl. I used enough. I think I used like 4 tablespoons of each, except for of course, I used 4 tablespoons of the oregano, and I think I used 3 tablespoons of the paprika, and then I didn't even hardly put any red pepper flakes in because I didn't want it real spicy, because some of them don't like, a lot of heat. So what I did was I took it and I put some on top of my chicken. I put my chicken on my air fryer basket. I put it underneath aluminum foil and parchment paper because I'm using my oven. You can just put it in your air fryer if you're not using that much. Or if you're frying it, you would do it the same way. You would take your paprika mixture and you would put it on top of your chicken. Then you would take some olive oil and of course put a little bit on, and then spread your seasonings all over your chicken. I left it on there for 20 minutes. Then I flipped it to the other side and repeated those steps with the paprika, the oregano, and the olive oil. I left it on there for about 15 minutes. Then I flipped it back again. And I left it on for another 10 minutes. Then I turned it off and I left it sit into the oven. Even though the air fryer was off, it was still hot in there. So that's why I said the chicken's pretty much done as it is anyways. Then I preheated my oven to 375, and I took a big roaster, but you can use a 9x13 if you're not using as much as I did. And I greased that up. Then I browned the sausage in a large skillet. I removed the sausage from the pan, and I put my onions and peppers in, and I sauteed them for about 3 or 4 minutes. Then while that was sauteing, I made my rice mixture, which was the uncooked rice, the broth, the wine, the cream, the Parmesan cheese, the vinegar, the Italian seasonings, and red pepper flakes, salt and pepper. I also stirred in my sauteed onions and peppers. I mixed that really well. Then I poured it into my greased pan. Then I nestled my chicken over top of it, the best I could because I had a lot of chicken. Then I added the brown sausage around the outside of it. I covered it with aluminum foil, really, really good. And now I'm baking it 40 to 50 minutes or until the rice is tender and the chicken has cooked through. I know my chicken's going to be cooked through because I already had it pretty much done. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for the rice, though. That's the problem. So I'm going to check it now and see what this rice is like. And if it's going to take longer, I will just turn this off and we will come back. And I will finish it up. But I got to check the rice. And the rice is going to be a problem because the rice is all underneath. So let me get this pan out of the oven. I don't want to hang this oven open. It drops the temperature. I'm going to pull this out real quick. I'm going to close this back up so that temperature doesn't keep on dropping. And I'm going to try to get to that rice. I'm going to say I'm probably going to have to come back. Because you got to let it sit a couple minutes in, because when you let it sit, what happens is, after it sits, it thickens up. I'm in where I'm right where all the sausage is, so that's all I'm getting is all the sausage. I don't want to burn my dang hands. Let me see here. Let me use this. Actually, let me cut into this anyways, because it isn't going to matter if this chicken's not completely done. Right there, I can get in through there to the rice. Maybe not. I think what I'm going to do is, I have some instant rice too. Yeah, the rice I think needs longer. Yeah, the rice needs to go longer. And the chicken should really be in longer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put this back in. Going to turn this off. I'm going to let this go for probably another, I have a lot in there, so mine's going to take a little longer. I'm going to let this go in there for about another half an hour, till close to 5. I'm going to up my temperature a little bit because, like I said, I have a lot in there. So I'm going to let this go for about another half an hour, about closer to 5. I will come back and I will show you the finished product after I let it sit and thicken up a little bit. I'm going to leave my computer out, my laptop out, so I can come back on to Twitch and YouTube and show them also. So I shall be back. Let me pause everything, or I'm going to have to shut it off because I can't pause it. That's why I'm talking about doing the reel for Facebook, because then I could just pause it. I'm not sure about the Twix and the Twitch and YouTube. I'm going to have to research that and see if I can pause that also. But anyways, I shall be back, I promise. It'll be close to 5, between 5 and 5:15 that I'll come back and I'll show you the completed meal. So until then, everybody stay blessed and don't forget you are loved. All right.